Dear Lord, thank you for this opportunity to be together for the benefit of the citizens of Palm Valley, and please grant us your wisdom and guidance as we contemplate the issues of import for all of our residents, and continue to watch over our first responders, our police and firefighters, and for the health and safety of all the residents of our town. We appreciate your guidance. Amen.
Amen. Would you please face the flag and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, roll call and quorum report. We'll start with Mr. Vargas.
Mike Vargas, present.
Okay.
Miracle Fathers present.
Michael Gorgeous present. Scott Nelson present, and by Zoom we have Annette Baker. Okay, excellent. The mayor was unable to join us this evening. He sends his regrets for that and asked me to step in. So we're at the point of public comments. Okay, excellent. That brings us to the minutes from January 21st, 2025. I know we've been through them. Any edits or updates?
You and I are usually pretty picky. I didn't find any.
I didn't either, so I was kind of happy about that.
I want to commend minute writing. I was like, I really looked.
Yeah.
I did not find anything.
It was a group effort.
Yeah, I didn't have any either. Did anyone else?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I need a motion to accept.
I move that we approve the minutes.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, the minutes have passed. All right, number 2, official swearing-in ceremony for Julio Alguin as the City of Palm Valley's Chief of Police. This is very exciting.
Yes.
Busy. What are we gonna do? Who's gonna take, where do I stand? Where do you?
You're gonna make it, I will do it right here.
Like, just like that?
Just like that.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I
Julio Alguin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promise any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election which I was elected or I was awarded to secure my position or confirmation, whichever the case may be. So help me God. Okay, we got that one out of the way. I didn't do the swearing. I want to mention something about the swearing-in ceremony. People ask, what is the swearing-in ceremony? And actually, it's a promise. It's a promise that in this case, this man is going to make to this community as the police chief. To be fair, to be honest, to understand, to respect. That is going to be his job. His job is also to lower the fear in this community by having a good police department. I believe that to be true. The other part is, the reason you raise your right hand, and it said that you're asking God to be your witness. Nothing is more important than a police officer asking God to be his witness and help him out. So that's what I wanted to make sure that everybody understands. Okay, sir, swear you in. I,
Julio Alguin,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the police department of the City of Palm Valley and the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you.
Starting to pay it out.
For sure, yeah. I know we're doing a quick photo.
I did not recognize that party, but I didn't.
I did.
Good.
Yeah, I already know that.
Got all of
Give
it?
it a little more, yeah. Like you like each other. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Oh, you're gonna take another one?
No, one more, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, thank you.
Okay, sir. All right. If you need one.
All right, we're very excited by that, so I'm glad you're able to bring your family here for this.
There you go, there you go. Bye-bye.
All right. All right, item number 3, financial report.
Okay, Ciuncil, so it's not where we are gonna be, but I just wanted to provide you with a few things so you can kind of start to get a visual of where we're at. The first page you have right now in front of you it's just the balances of all of our accounts. These are our active accounts and these are their balance in the books. Nothing's reconciled, we're not fully there yet, but this just kind of gives you an idea of what we have in all of our accounts. So as we go forward, we'll have the bank reconciliations for these accounts and so forth. But this is just, as of today, 408, this is the money that was in our account. So the next page is just a quick breakdown, sales tax. I want to let you guys know for fiscal year to date, so from October 1st to date, we've got $83,155.12 in sales tax. And the big thing that we've been working on is getting the federal employment tax payments made. It appears that those have not been made since June of 2023. And as we pay weekly to our employees, and every week we should be making a payment to pay our taxes. So Ms. Sosa and I have been working on getting the reports ran so we can file and pay our taxes. And it's going to roughly come to about $170,000 between June to now that we're going to have to pay. And at that point, once we get everything paid, we will be assessed like fees and penalties and interest. However, I have talked to them and we can file audit forms or appeal forms and explain the situation between administrators, different things, and we can appeal and either have them reduce or not waive any of the fees and fines that we're going to have for not submitting those.
So is that the payroll? That's your pay, so you're withholding? We were not paying withholding?
We're withholding, we just hadn't paid it into the federal tax. We haven't paid it to the IRS, so it's sitting in our accounts.
So where does that withholding show up?
So it would show up in the water, you have the water operating account, so we pay 3 employees out of the water operating account. And then the rest of the employees are, that would show up in the tax account, I believe is where those funds are being held out of. That's what we pay out of. So like that $832,000, that's where the majority of that money is going to come from to make that payment. Is that the question you were asking?
It is. I've made many payroll payments through the years, and I'm shocked that we would not have gotten flagged on this before now.
Well,
You're talking June of 2023?
correct.
So that is 20 months.
So they had been sending quarterly report requests that, hey, you haven't filed. I found all of them when I was going through the office. Now, why, I can't answer to why previous administration hadn't done it. So I am also surprised that you hadn't gotten these nasty letters other than we're small. But they'll get us when we when we do pay it, we will get all the fines and penalties and interest. So I don't know. But I did call, IRS and double check, and they walked me through, she went through our whole account to make sure when things stopped.
Well, having run big payroll and small payroll. So when we had, I don't know, 150 employees, we had a separate payroll account, and we were required to deposit within 24 hours. Now, that's because of our employee size at that point in time. And all of that had to be segregated funds, not common operating. As a small operation, you can do out of your regular operating, and you have more. It totally depends on how big your payroll is. But in my opinion, if we have not been, well, I can tell just from the accounts, we don't have a payroll account right now, correct?
Correct.
And I think that that is something that we should contemplate. Because you can keep track a whole lot easier with the payroll account. It's going to show up immediately because everything's going to be segregated out, everything that you've withheld out. And, you know, I'm grateful that our employees didn't get a letter from the IRS saying, we didn't get your withholding. I mean, that's really where we could have had an issue. So, and I appreciate you for finding it. By the way, obviously, it's not your fault. I appreciate that you found it, so you absolutely get credit for that. Do we have any kind of timeline on the resolution of all of this?
So we have filed, I have paid up to third quarter of 2023. We should finish by the end of the week. I think we ran all of 2024. So I have all the reports ran. Ms. Sosa got all of the reports ran. So now I'm just going through and because it's weekly, you just have to do, every payment every week. So by the end of the week, I foresee everything being paid, and I'll be able to submit the quarterly reports. And so I don't know how long it'll take them to flag us or send us anything. I'm certainly not going to say, hey, did you look at our stuff and give us our
Right.
Obviously, so by the end of the week, we should be caught up. I started 2 weeks ago when I figured out, because we used to do it monthly. And so when I went to go look for that, it's like they need to be paying. So when I started to figure it out, obviously I've been making the payments since I've been doing the payroll. So we'll get caught up and we'll meet in the middle and we'll have paid and file all of our quarterly reports by the end of the week. And then from how long it takes them to review our account, I'm not sure, but we'll at least be paid up. It was about $55,000 from June of 2023 to December of 2023. And so my guesstimate for 2024 is probably going to be around $140,000 that we have to pay, simply because, you get raises and things like that. So the taxes are going to be a little bit more than, can't just double that. So, so we're looking at about another 100,000 or so to pay.
When do you expect to have all your basic entries? I was being reminded in reading the minutes of getting all of our basic our internal bookkeeping up to present.
So we are it's a 6-week goal that we have for internal, so we can start handing things over to Tyler Tech. That will cross over so they can start doing data pulls, so they can pull our data to start getting the raw data, so they can start comparing it. So when we start moving over to the big system, so Sosa and I have given ourselves the basically 5 weeks, March 28th, Masalmanos, to have everything current and up to date, so the auditors can have theirs, Tyler Tech can have theirs, and we can be up to date. We have this was problem number 1, and then we have our plan of attack for the bank statements. I've started working on, basically we're just trying to get a process to get through, because nothing is entered. I have to go through and we have to enter the deposits, we have to enter, if it was a check that was cut in, but with the system, it's entered, and if it was the water payments received, it's entered into the access system, but anything that was done outside of that is not been entered. So we've kind of sorted everything out and broken it down on how we're going to get things entered, and I touched on this on my report, but I can talk about it now. I've been working on creating how-to manuals or processes, so we can work on the cross-training, and then going forward, if we have a deposit, this is what you do to post it in access, this is how we do it, so we can, obviously, going forward, I have everything to date entered that's current, so I'm doing it on the daily when we do deposits, everything is being entered. But so I'm doing the how-tos on how to do any of the ACH payments, how to do the deposits, and how to do the payroll reports. I think I've got 3 little how-to PowerPoint manuals done, which the goal would be over the course of the next 6 months or so, basically everything that we do will have some sort of manual to it that the council can operate, approve to be some sort of, SOPs, for lack of a better term, for everything that goes on in the town. So things like employment tax aren't getting missed for a year and a half. So,
Right.
that's kind of the goal. So everything that I'm doing, I'm making a manual and a how-to once I figure it out. Obviously, access is tricky, and I've had to work with, today I had the IT team over trying to help us get the reports correct for the 941 quarterly reports because it's not user-friendly. So when we go to pull reports, it's pulling today's data. I can't pull data from 2 years ago. So he had to help us piecemeal a report together so we can get the data that we need to do that. So it's just kind of taking, it's a little more cumbersome, but we'll get it done.
Well, I'm currently agnostic that that money was just sitting somewhere. So that's why I want to see where your actual reconciliation happens.
I completely agree. It's all there somewhere. It's just, and the thing is a lot of accounts owe each other money. So the drainage account owes the city operating account money because when we go to pay for the drainage, they're paying it out of the operating account without having the drainage fund pay the operating account back. So there's a lot of due funds that are outstanding that aren't on the books that aren't going to show up because of course access isn't an accounting software, so there's nowhere to hold that face value. So I have in the next page, you'll see that I did an Excel spreadsheet of where we're at with what we paid out for the drainage project, what's outstanding. And so then as we get to the reconciliations, I'll be able to determine what exactly that drainage account owes the city operating account. So I do believe it's all there, it's just not in the right places. So, because the operating account is holding money, but then we use that money to pay this drainage, invoice that came in, and there's no due from that's holding this money that's saying, hey, you owe me over here, it would get used. But the money is still in the drainage account that should have been used. So it's just a matter of going through and reconciling and putting it on the right spot.
I would suspect, first of all, I want to reiterate, I appreciate you coming. There's no point in shooting the messenger, okay? So, the money withheld is not our money, it's our employees' money. When we withhold from our employees, that's so they can pay their taxes. We don't pay their taxes, they pay their taxes. So I really am looking forward to making sure that we get to the bottom of it for their benefit, first of all. That's number one. Number two, I suspect on the basis of the size of our employment, you probably have, is it 3 business days, 5 business days? I don't think it's an overnight.
No, I think it's 3 business days, but my rule of thumb has always been you do your payroll liabilities the same day you pay payroll. You have your liabilities for health insurance, your liabilities for your taxes, and your retirement account. And so you need to do those 3 things. That is part of payroll. So I treat it as it's the same day. And we're small enough, there's no reason it can't be done.
Most of us, I assume, have signed checks at some point and signed the payroll. I would like to see going forward that we have the tax payment included on our sign-off.
That makes sense, yeah.
And then that way that we're seeing that it's happening every week, or every payroll period for that. Because I'm just thinking about it now, I'm like, well, yeah, we signed off on that and signed off on the numbers and signed off on the net, but I don't ever remember signing off on sending the money to the IRS.
Right.
Yeah. There should be quarterly reports that are also done for the 941s and the Texas Workforce Solutions. So those will all, you'll see the quarterly reports that those get done as well. But certainly we can include the printout of the confirmation of everything.
Excellent, okay. Any other discussion? Annette, do you have anything?
Yeah.
There we
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the IRS, they're behind. I get, and they're they're so messed up. So, this is no one's to blame on this that's currently in this room. But I appreciate that Michael brought up this just so the public can understand, what all the secretary is doing now. But I just appreciate that we have you, Rennie, and that you're smart enough to figure this out in the first month. So thank you.
Excellent. All right, any other commentary? Okay, thank you for that. This is just a discussion. We don't have to vote on anything, right? Correct. Okay. All right, that brings us to item number 4, Palm Valley Ordinance 2025-02, canceling the May 3rd, 2025 election. Discussion and possible action on this ordinance, canceling the May 3rd city general election and declaring each unopposed candidate elected to the office. Go for it.
I was going to verify that there's been no write-ins that were submitted prior to the deadline.
So, yeah, the deadline was today at 5 o'clock, and we've not had any write-ins.
Okay.
Outstanding.
We're good to go.
Okay. So good news. I think this saves us from the city quite a bit. If I remember, it was about $16,000. That's the number I had off the top of my head, so that's fantastic. So with that, let me read the ordinance as it's written. Ordinance 2025-02, an ordinance for the city of Palm Valley canceling the May 3rd, 2025 city general election and declaring each unopposed candidate elected to office, providing that this ordinance shall be cumulative of all ordinances, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date. Whereas the city of Palm Valley, Texas is a general law municipality located in Cameron County, created in accordance with the provisions of the local government code and operating pursuant to the enabling legislation of the state of Texas. And whereas in accordance with law, a general election was previously ordered for May 3rd, 2025 for the purpose of electing 1 mayor and 2 council members to serve 2-year terms on the city council in the city of Palm Valley. And whereas no propositions were to appear on the ballot for the general election, and whereas the city secretary has certified in writing that each candidate who filed for a place on the ballot is unopposed for election to office, and whereas the filing deadlines for placement on the ballot and declaration of right in candidacy have passed, and whereas in these circumstances, Chapter 2, Subchapter C of the Texas Election Code authorizes a governing body to declare each unopposed candidate elected to office and cancel the election. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the City Council of Palm Valley, Texas, that Section 1, the following candidates who are unopposed in the May 3rd, 2025 city general election are hereby declared elected to office and shall be issued a certificate of election. Michael Galvan, Mayor; Mike Vargas, Council Place 3; Scott Nelson, Council Place 5. Section 2, the City Secretary is directed to post a copy of the order of cancellation attached as Exhibit A at City Hall, the sole polling location, on May 3rd, 2025. Section 3, this ordinance shall be cumulative of all provisions of ordinances in the city, it should be in the city of Palm Valley, Texas, except where the provisions of this ordinance are in direct conflict with the provisions of such ordinance, in which event the conflicting provisions of such ordinances is hereby repealed. Section 4, it is hereby declared to be the intention of the City Council that the phrases, clauses, sentences, paragraphs, and sections of this ordinance are severable, and if any phrase, clause, sentence, paragraph, or section of this ordinance shall be declared unconstitutional by the valid judgments or decree of any court of competent jurisdiction, such unconstitutionality shall not affect any of the remaining phrases, clauses, sentences, paragraphs, and section of this ordinance, since the same would have been enacted by the City Council without the incorporation in this ordinance of any such unconstitutional phrase, clause, sentence, paragraph, or section. Section 5, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and is so ordained. So at this point, we probably need to take a motion and a vote, and then we can complete this.
I move that the ordinance be passed. Sorry.
It's okay.
I move that the ordinance be passed with the 2 edits as follows, changing the word if to in Section 3. And then misspelled ATTER to after in Section 5.
Okay, we have a motion. Need a second? And Ed seconded, okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, this motion is passed, and I'll complete the ordinance passed and approved by the City Council of the City of Palm Valley, Texas, on this 18th day of February 2025. Man, that's why you go to school for all that time, right? So
That's
you can
right, yeah.
Not trip over your tongue while you're doing that. Yeah, exactly. All right, that brings us to item number 5, drainage project update, please.
So I was with Tony today, and I have a little bit more update than the one I provided you from our meeting last week. The contractor has poured the northernmost cart path at about 100%. The middle cart path is about 50%. And the fairway cart path is at about 75%. The contractor anticipates placing an asphalt pavement on Wednesday, which I went and posted today, so that's still on track as long as it doesn't rain. The road will be closed in the entire day. The contractor has poured about 60% of the concrete slopes along Bougainvillea. They anticipate to continue working on those pours into next week, weather permitting. Along with this, parallel to this, the contractor will continue to work on the golf course restorations. And the contractor has begun hydro mulching at the south end of the project and will continue seeding going north. So there was a lot of rocks and things that got buried in there, so they're having to dig all those out. Items that will be pending is the gate at the lake that will drain the lake adjacent to the ditch. That repair of the 24, that ditch will be about 24 inches diameter pipe that runs from Bougainvillea towards the bend of the drain ditch. So this is my understanding. So if we are to anticipate a huge increase of water or a hurricane comes our way, we can drain our ditches and it gives us more, and block it with the gate, that way we have more room for water to go. That item may run past the 28th. We are planning on the golf course having everything back and being done by the 28th, the end of the month. We want the golf course to not have to have anything more to do with this project by the 28th. There are a couple things that might be handled after that, but it'll be minor and it won't affect the golf course. Hopefully it will be minimal impact on any citizens. It'll just be stuff that's kind of outside work or things that small equipment, won't be able to block off streets. And hopefully the asphalt's done by Wednesday, and the fencing will be what is going forward after we get all the course done. So we are meeting on a weekly basis, so we'll meet tomorrow morning at 10:30 with Tony, the contractor crew, the golf course, Jerry, Shay, John Top was there last week. I assume he'll be there tomorrow. And so we're meeting every week until we get it all clear that this project is done and ready for final account.
So I did a little inspection before coming to council. So I agree with all the general status process of your report. Bone Harrington, who lives on the 13th hole right next to the ditch on the southeast side. Currently, the road that comes from Palm Valley Drive south has encroached on his land. Part of his yard has been removed and some of his irrigation has been taken out. Now, so we need to follow up on that, because my impression from one of our previous reports was that is, if you step it off, it's about 20 feet. I believe it's supposed to be 12 ultimately. But he came out and talked to me, and right now part of his yard is gone. So he's asking what's going to happen with that, because otherwise we're going to get to pay him for that. So I believe that the drainage district's intent is for that pathway to be narrower, but we do need to follow up on that. So I'm trying to square what I remember hearing before. And so I think that path is ultimately supposed to be narrower, but we should follow up on that item. And I do agree they still need to do some more work on the 13th hole. There's still a lot of rocks in that area. The sod won't take if it's that hard pan. Whatever it is, the grader or the contraption they use needs to be more set for the sod to be able to be laid. But they are definitely making progress.
Yeah.
It was my understanding from Mr. Ray, Mr. Ray and the contractor were gonna go out there. I think he was gonna show us how hard he wanted it to dig down, right? So surveyed the step by step of what, he wants done over there. So, but that was our understanding. I think that it was gonna go down, what, 12, 15? 2 feet,
2
maybe
feet,
down
okay.
to pull all the rocks out, and so the sod will take it.
Yeah. Because ultimately, that's going to be handed off to the club. That's not going to be the city's responsibility. So, but it does need more work. It looks a lot better than it did, believe me.
Oh, yeah.
But it still needs more work. So they're getting closer. And it'll be interesting if we get some rain, it might actually make it a little easiasier, as long as it's not too much rain. But if it got a little softer, I think they'll be able to get it out.
So if it does rain tomorrow, do they postpone the pavement for the following
It's
day?
supposed to rain on Thursday, so
Okay.
the asphalt tomorrow
Yeah, yeah.
should be fine, right?
Okay.
If you're not on everything. We should be fine for the asphalt work, tomorrow. I don't know what exactly, for the later concrete, if there's gonna be more, that the rain will,
Delay,
that's what I
yeah.
will know more about that tomorrow, after we meet. And I will do another, similar update to this one after we meet tomorrow, just so you guys can know what was said. But, we were very clear last week. I've been very clear with Tony, that at the end of the month, is non-negotiable. I mean, and I told him I don't want to sound like the new mean bad person. I said, but my first meeting, we've been saying the same thing, and I said, somebody's got to be the bad person, and I have no problem being that, because we have to plant sod. We have, there's just things we can't get around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this new contractor's taken over, and we all told him we understand he's kind of come in the middle of where he's at, but there again, you still got to get the work done. So
Right.
he's still getting paid, and so we're just trying to nicely hold them accountable to expectations.
Sure.
I will say, I've had a couple conversations with the foreman or whoever he is, and he's there. If you've got any questions, you can ask the questions. And, at least things are happening now. So that's certainly an improvement over where we were, around Thanksgiving, where everything came to a grinding halt.
But
So-
like I said, I'll keep updating you guys, and if you have questions, if you want me to ask, obviously you can send me an email, or like you said, they're all there and eager to answer the questions. So
I told them as long as people are asking me questions, they're going to see my face. So I would really like to be able to stop doing that.
Well, and I know I drive that thing a couple times a week just to make sure, just to see if it's still closed. And it's kind of frustrating from a paramedic standpoint. I'm thinking, do our EMS and fire services know they're going to have to take an alternate route if it's just across that road? And I also worry about that house that's for sale. There's one right next to the ditch project that's for sale and has been for some time, and it looks like they've probably moved out by now. And that's not anything the ditch project is going to change, but these folks have been trying to move along, and it's hard to sell a house if people can't get to it. And that's not posted by you, is it, that house there?
Diane Hare.
Diane. Okay.
No, it's Diana here. I don't think that's a problem, but,
That's fair. I just was thinking back, if I'm trying to sell a house and people can't get to
Yeah.
it, it's a little frustrating. So.
Yeah, they just have to drive 1.5 miles.
Right, yeah. Take the scenic route. Yeah, that's it.
They've gotten very
Get to know the neighborhood.
route.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to get used to the shortcut when that thing finally opens.
Right. All right. Any other questions or commentary about the drainage project? I guess, I do, I guess, have one. Once they put the asphalt down, it'll be drivable tomorrow night, right?
I think they'll keep it open I think they will, I don't know if it's tomorrow night or if it'll be Thursday morning. If they'll keep it, if they'll cure it, let it cure for 24 hours. I think they let it cure. I think it might be the next morning that they open it. At least that's what I'm gonna tell everyone. If it gets opened earlier, great, but
Yeah, I gotcha.
otherwise, just plan on Wednesday or Thursday morning.
And if you get more information about the width of that path that you can follow up with me, I will follow up with the resident.
Okay, all right. We can look at that tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that concludes item 5. Item 6, the 1033 program, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve Police Chief Alguin to join the 1033 program.
This 1033 program is awesome.
Let's make sure we're on.
Yes.
Okay.
It is awesome. What it is, it's a military surplus. Military orders a lot of things. They have a lot of things that they don't use anymore. They don't know what to do with them, basically, so they're offering it to us. We're talking about furniture, tables, cameras, weapons, like rifles, even vehicles, trailers, water pumps. So all we do is if you approve, Ms. Gonzalez will sign, I will sign, and we enter into agreement with the state. And what it is basically every week, we go online and check, see what is available. If there's anything that we can use, then we'll ask for it. If they approve it, then all we gotta do is pick it up. There's no cost to us other than going to go pick it up. Joining the program, there's no cost either. I would have to go to a training in Austin for a day. That would be the only thing that the only cost is the trip over and back, that's it. But I've used this before when I was with Laguna Vista. We got 2 Hummers, we got a trailer, we got like 4 or 5 water pumps that came in very handy. We got 2 rifles, we got tons of furniture. And again, all that is free. We just gotta go pick it up.
Where are these items usually? Are they close? Are they
In San
based in the
Antonio.
state? Okay.
San Antonio.
So not an awful trek up there?
No.
Okay.
Usually what we would do is we would gather up, whatever we ask for, they hold it for us, get a trailer, make one trip, bring it all back. That way we don't have to make constant trips every week.
Yeah, I would hate for them to say like, hey, you gotta get it tomorrow.
Yeah, no, they'll hold it for us, not forever, but they'll hold it for us. That way we can make one trip, come back with it,
Okay.
and that's it.
I think for me, it makes sense. I would imagine for most of us it does if we're getting low-cost equipment or no-cost equipment.
No cost.
You mentioned here the desk, tables, chairs, first aid gear. If you're getting first aid gear, I'm happy to help review it to make sure it's reasonable. I mean, you and I had talked about AEDs at one point.
Right.
You know, and we do need to probably update those at the very least or get more. But certainly we can look at that and,
The AEDs, we have none, and
We
we've
have none.
spoken about it.
yeah.
I'm trying to look for grant money to get AED. They're about $1,600.
Yeah, must be, yeah. So, and I think did I send you some grant information?
No.
I think I sent you some AED information, but there's
Yeah,
a number
AED.
that are out there that are available for law enforcement that are great. And there is some grant money. I'll try to, maybe we can catch each other offline and I can come up
Sure.
with a couple ideas for you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for the chief on this? Okay. So that means we probably need to decide what we want to do, so I'll take a motion. Go for it.
No, you go ahead.
I want to be sure that I move that we approve Police Chief Ogwin to be able to join the 1033 program as discussed.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Annette, you're okay?
Yeah, good.
Okay. All right, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay, it's unanimous. Motion passes. Congratulations, Chief. You're getting more cool stuff. All right, I'm sorry. So executive session, as I understand it, we don't have anything for executive session at this time.
No, we have none of the same.
Okay, so do we need to make a motion to skip it? Or can we just skip it? Okay. I need to take us back one moment here and probably need your opinion on this. I did not read Exhibit A. Do I need to read that out? I mean, I read the ordinance, but I didn't read Exhibit A out. So I'm looking for clarification.
I don't think we're sure, but that
No, it's, you don't even have to read the whole ordinance out, to be honest with you.
Okay, all right.
It's fine, just the,
Just the caption? Okay, so I'm going to take us back a moment and read the caption for Exhibit A that says, order of cancellation. There we go. Okay, thank you. All right. As there's no executive session, there's no executive session action. So that brings us to monthly reports. Chief?
couple of things. As far as the trusted driver, we're still waiting, Mr. Manda. I don't know if you had a chance to look over that group.
Yeah.
Looks good, or-
The portions that I was supposed to look at, because it's a very long document,
Yes, sir.
was the termination clause. There was some, I don't know if there's a typo or whatever in the one I looked at. It had 3-year term in one place and 1-year term in the other. It's
Yes.
to 1 year and 1 year. So in essence, after a month, the day after the term ends at 12 months, you can send a notice out and terminate in 30 days, which means you'd be done with it,
Correct.
in 13 months.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't really see, I wasn't asked what the known 13-month cost will be for the city. It's not really clear under that contract, but I wasn't asked to, I don't know if that has been asked of this company.
Yeah, yes, so if at the 12th month we don't want it, we notify them that we're canceling. The only thing we pay is the 1 year, 1,500, and that's it. We don't pay anything else.
Yeah, there's some other components of it, I think like the QRs and all of that. There was some minimums and things like that, so I don't know if they could total out. This is the dollar figure, if you just get the bare minimums for the 1 year, this is the minimum amount for the city that you would pay under this contract. That's the only thing that was clear as mud for me in that, what was it, 60 or 70 pages.
I remember reading it, and it says that for the first year, the cards are complimentary.
A certain number and so
Right.
forth, yeah.
After that, then I think it's like $1,000 for I don't know how many, or they'll give us the, so we can print our own
Yeah.
if we find.
Okay.
But the first year, they'll give us the complimentary. $1,500 is pretty much all we pay. That covers that.
As far as my review of the term, it's been fixed in both
Yes.
places, so it's 1 year now.
Yes, sir.
So did we, I want to say we voted on that,
Yeah, you guys, it was just
Approval.
voting on it pending Mr. Mann's of
okay,
approval.
okay, so it doesn't require any further action from us?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, great.
All right, so yes, once we sign it and send it in, within 2 weeks, we can start using it.
Great.
That will start. The second thing, right, Sergeant Cisneros right now is attending a 1-week instructor certification course here in Edinburgh, free. It's not costing us anything other than, of course, travel. But that is great, now it's going to be, him and I are going to be certified instructors. So whatever courses or classes that the officers need, we can put it on ourselves. So we don't have to be looking out, sending them anywhere. We can just do it ourselves and get them certified, trained, and up to par.
Does Primera or Combs, do they have instructors on their police force?
No, I
So
think
there's
the
not-
only one, Primera, is the chief.
Okay, so there's an opportunity for us to do some joint training?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
yes. As a matter of fact, the chief and I have been talking about doing joint training.
Great.
Also get officer certified in weapons and stuff like that. So we're planning on working together and all of us training together.
Very good.
We got fire extinguishers and first aid kits for all units now. We have a vehicle fire, and we realized that none of the units had fire extinguisher but one, and that one fire extinguisher we had was empty. So, I brought up to Mrs. Gonzalez, and she approved quickly to get fire extinguisher for all the units. So now all the units have fire extinguishers in them. First aid kits also. Also, what we're gonna do, and I spoke to Mrs. Gonzalez on this, is the person who sold me the fire extinguishers is gonna put on a training for everybody. And even if any of you wanna come, you all guys invited. But they'll teach everybody how to use it the proper way, using, he's got the PowerPoint. And then we'll go out to the parking lot here, do a live burn and fire away.
I've done those trainings, they're a lot of fun.
Yes. So-
Makes a mess, but it's fun.
So we're looking for a date, a good date that's good for everybody during the week, so those people are gonna be here, and they can also certify with those. We're also getting fire extinguishers for their unit, for their trucks.
Yeah, yes, playing with fire, what could be more fun?
Not much.
Yeah. Does this same company, are they, like in a building, you're tagged and they
They come do the
proactively come and do the inspections? Is that
Yes.
included?
Yes, he does that too.
I'm assuming he's local,
No, he's from Port Isabel, but he
Okay.
didn't mind coming over here.
local enough. I mean, it could be San Antonio, so.
Yeah, no, he's,
Portland. Okay,
yes, sir.
all right.
And,
Anything else y'all want? Okay, thanks, sir.
all right, great, thank you.
All right, the court, we've got it in our, we should have it in your packet there. Any questions on the court or municipal court reports? Okay, water department? Nothing?
No, sir.
Nothing exciting, like we're done with all the meters? All the
Just
meters?
the meters, I think I need four more to go, and that's it.
Okay,
I've been having more problems on the 2-inch meters, because, the pipe will break. I think we had one big leak two weeks ago,
okay.
and that was a big mess there, so.
How long, so I know before you were struggling with some of those when they break, and I'm trying to summarize for Ms. Baker there. So how long is it taking you to fix those 2-inch meters?
It's taking us about 2-3 hours.
2-3 hours, okay,
If it's a break, it'll take us longer, but.
okay,
Luckily, we've been lucky that they only hit the tip of it, so we can isolate it.
got
On
it,
the bottom, pinch it.
Okay.
And then fix the repair.
so we're not talking days at a time, it's just, you can do, but it slows you down to one a day. Okay, I got you, all right. Any other questions for Chendo? Okay, council staff liaison report?
So I believe we pretty much touched on
I did
every,
too.
well, the big part, this month has been focused a lot on the financials, so a lot of it was covered in the financial report. But just a couple of things that, the team and I participated in multiple of the Tyler Technology, training implementation scheduled, Zoom calls, just for preparing for the rollout and how it's gonna look and what's gonna need to be done, going forward with that. We did finalize the 5-year stormwater management program, so that's good for the next 5 years. That was submitted last week, I believe. Yes, so we submitted that. I'm trying to increase the website and citizen communication. I am going to, hopefully you guys will start to see a little bit more campaign, so to speak, for people to sign up. We only had about 160 people signed up for our alert portal. So we need, anything I send via email is great, except only 162 people are getting it. So I'm going to increase the posts on Facebook. Obviously, we need to work on getting everyone's algorithm to pick us up. So anybody that knows anybody, the more we like and share, just to start building anybody's algorithms up would be appreciated, or anywhere you might be able to post a QR code or send something out, or anybody that you know, like, I thought about contacting Shay and maybe some of the HOAs, that maybe if they have an email distribution list, that they wouldn't mind sending out the instructions for the portal, just because we can send an email. Everything I do when I send those notices out, I send an email, but it's only reaching, whoever's actually sending it out.
It'd be a great thing to add to the new neighbor packet, right? So when they come in to set up their water, you can give them the QR code and,
Correct.
or just sign them up while they're there.
Right.
I'm attending a couple HOAs over the that time of year, and we'll make sure to discuss that at those two. That's going to be the Los Amigos 1 and 2, so that's 84 households.
Yes.
So we'll start there, and the club may be willing to put an announcement in the newsletter. They publish every month.
That's what I was hoping. So I would talk to Shay, and they can opt in for emails and text. One sign up, you can opt in for email and text notifications. So just to hopefully get the word out. So that's something I'm working on.
And don't be afraid to remind me.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say you're going to get back on Facebook.
So I'm trying to be, I mean, you guys noticed trying to be a little more efficient for you guys, a little more green, sending packets on the emails. I realized I had two, Ms. Baker, I apologize, because I had y'all's city emails, I didn't realize you used your personal email, so I apologize. There's been emails that I'm gonna go through and resend that I sent to the council that, I don't think you guys got because I was using just the city email address. But, so trying to increase communication that way so you guys can have, giant communication. I know sometimes it's easier to look on our tablets and phones and sit there and look at a big packet. So, I talked about the how-to manuals that we're creating and, just trying to really move forward with, the cleaning everything up, but also thinking 5 years ahead of now of what needs to be done and how we can progress and stay, on top of it.
Did you end up getting access to all of our social media stuff that we previously had, so the Nextdoor and?
Yeah, so I have access to everything that I think we have. I have Nextdoor, we've got we have 2 city accounts, but so I just post on both of them. I'm not really sure which one is the one that everyone is the most, and then we have Chief on the police one and I'm on the police one, so I think I have access to those on the social media accounts that I know about. But even those don't get a lot of traction when I put the posts on there. There's not a lot of likes, there's not a lot of shares, which is, Nextdoor is kind of touch and go anyway. You don't want attention on there, but you want to get information out.
Right.
So, but yeah. So I just want to try to get more information. I know we did the newsletter and the guys walk around and hand everyone out a newsletter, but it would be really nice if everyone could get the newsletter. That wanted one in their email. So.
Good. Excellent.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Any other questions for our police, municipal court, water department, or council staff liaison report? Okay.
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
So are we, so we're just getting all of our packets by email now and not being delivered? Is that the?
It can go, it's whichever you want. Both, I can do both, we can deliver. I know sometimes it's easier to have at least an electronic copy as well. So if you aren't gonna be home and you can look at it otherwise, but if you still want one delivered, that's absolutely fine. It's just.
No, I mean, I don't care, but I just didn't get either one. So,
Right, I had the wrong email address I had your Palm Valley email address, not the Gmail, so I do apologize for that, but we will do either or both is that council preference, whichever you like.
well, and I can do the Palm Valley, and I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but with some changeover at some point, I think it was the police chief or the IT guy, I don't know which one it was, I no longer had access to it. So
I had the same issue.
That was my issue. That's why, I don't really want to use my personal, but it's not my personal, it's my business, it's my everything. But, it's probably better for me to keep it all in Palm Valley. But if I need to come in and do something, then let me know.
Okay, Chief and I'll look at it. We both have access to the email admin panel, so we will check access, and it may just be a matter of needing to reset a password and send you a link. But we'll look into it, and for you as well.
Same, I have the same problem.
Okay, and our attorney's saying it's probably best to keep your Palm Valley stuff with Palm Valley, so
Yeah,
I agree with
otherwise
that.
your personal becomes subject to the information request.
Right. Okay, if there's no other business, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion
sorry?
to approve.
Oh.
Consent agenda?
Do we need to approve
Do
it
we
for-
have a consent agenda?
No, it's just reports.
They're just a report.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. Motion to adjourn? Anyone?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Okay, have a motion.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. We're adjourned at whatever time it is, 6:55. Okay,
Yes.
thank you all. Thanks, Annette.
Thanks.
Well, good evening.
I was worried I was gonna have to swear in our